Mr. Pingor, to you.
Forgive me, Your Honor, Mr. Pingor was just fired.
Okay, well, I'm talking to him about it first, Mr. Pingor.
Actually, he's not representing me.
Well, he is officially right now until I say otherwise at the moment, so Mr.
I
Pingor.
fired Mr. Pingor.
Okay, well, he's not probably, you're not probably retaining your point.
I'm
All right, so I'm gonna hear from Mr. Pingor, then we'll go from there. So, Mr. Pingor.
I was just appointed on this. I met with Mr. Hicks this morning, tried to speak to him to find out what he wants to do on this case. I didn't even get an opportunity to relate what the state's offer is, which is a withhold and court costs. He did not want to speak to me, so I don't know where we're going at this point. Well, I would imagine we're going into the Nelson hearing, but.
Exactly right. So, all right, Mr. Hicks, thank you. Raise your hand for me, please. You swear from everything about saying the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, I have to ask everyone, you know, it's not like a trick question, I promise you. So, you say you wish to, fire Mr. Pingor, why is that?
Your Honor, that is not what I said.
You said you fired him, okay?
That's correct.
You don't have the ability to fire him, only have the ability to let him off representation, or you can represent yourself, that's another option, I suppose.
I can also find other representation, can't I?
You certainly can, but this has been going on for a little bit here. If you're able to hire someone, then that's fine. At that point, I can let Mr. Pingor off with the Office of Regional Conflict Counsel. We gotta make sure that, if you essentially say, for today's purposes, that, you, don't want, Mr. Pingor, then I have to go through an inquiry about that and, whether I'm going to allow him off. Because if you say, well, I don't want to represent myself, then we're probably at a spot where I have to, keep Mr. Pingor on until you, hire new counsel. So that's where we're at. So here's what I can say. If you want to, I do what's called Nelson hearing and see whether or not, there's a legal basis to, remove Mr. Pingor from your case. That's option one. Option two is I can do what's called a Ferretti inquiry, where you say you want to represent yourself, and I go through all that. Option three is I can do a reset. We don't really talk about any of those today. And if you hire new counsel, then there'll be a stipulate or a substitution. That counsel will take over. Mr. Pingor will be off, and then that's where we're at. What would you like to do?
Well, Mr. Pingor has directly been misrepresenting me, and again, he was fired for basic unprofessionalism. He has calculated deceit right here, right now, in this very courtroom. And yes, I'll need to find other representation, and if I'm not, I'll have to represent myself.
Okay.
For now, we'll need a continuance.
All right, well, I have to do the Nelson hearing first. So the question I have, I didn't really answer my question just yet, which is, do you want a continuance to see if you can hire counsel or not?
Again, that is why I need a continuance. Mr. Pingor, I cannot use his services. He directly told me that he does not communicate. When I asked him why he had not communicated before today, that is just basic unprofessionalism. He cannot represent me if he does not communicate with me. This case, as long as it's been going on by your own words, of course, you know, I think it's only fair that maybe he could have tried to get in contact with me before today. It's been 6 weeks since the last hearing. And, you know, I've repeatedly, you know, even about Mr. McGreen, you know, I've expressed concern about him not communicating with me, you know, and understand.
And they're different offices, just to be clear.
Yes, what I want to ensure, though, is that I can find a lawyer, an attorney, who can communicate with me, versus just, you know, showing up to court and saying, oh, I tried to communicate with him. Understanding that the last time I was here, the gentleman who was staying in for Mr. Pingor specifically took my contact information, both my phone number and email, so he could contact me before today.
Okay.
And again, Mr. Pingor himself, when I asked him why he had not communicated with me before today, he said, in his own words, I don't.
Okay.
He cannot represent me. He cannot know how I want to be represented if he does not communicate with me. again, this issue, with basic unprofessionalism, I mean, I don't understand why you would insist that someone else decide whether he needs to represent me. I'm specifically letting you know he's been misrepresenting me.
Okay. Well, there's legal safeguards that have to make sure that are staying in place, so it sounds like it's an unequivocal, request there. Might as well talk about it, so, Mr. Pingor, any response in terms of, and I'm just gonna hear from Mr. Pingor only at this point. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to speak to him this morning. I would have talked to him all about his case. This is a simple case of him being trespassed from a I think a PTSA station. There's nothing complicated about it. He wouldn't speak to me.
Okay.
He was all upset because I hadn't called him before this. I'm sorry I don't have his information, and I didn't need to talk to him. I could have talked to him for an hour out here today, and it won't even take an hour to try this case.
All right, and, okay, so breakdown of communication is really what it seems to be. So at this point, I'm not going to discharge Mr. Pingler. I think there's enough legal basis to do that. So he's still your attorney at the moment. Now, Mr. Hicks, again, just to be clear, I'm going to give him a court date for you. If you want to hire a new lawyer, like you said, that's what you want to do, I'll give you that time. But I can't give you too much time because this case has obviously been going on for a little bit here. How much time do you think you need?
Actually, I need to respond to Mr. Pingor's.
Well,
Again, I've been telling you that he's directly misrepresenting me, calculating deceit. I'll be telling you that he just did that now.
Okay.
And
Well,
I need to help you understand the truth.
How about this?
There are certain fundamentals in what he just said.
Well, how about this? He's saying that he has the opportunity to talk to you. Can you talk this morning?
I wanted to make sure that Mr. Pingor is certain about certain fundamentals, like whether or not it was a PST station. As long as this case has been going on, Mr. Pingor should know where this trespass. In fact, one more issue that should define how he's calculating deceit by him trying to marginalize my concerns about this case and these proceedings, referring to it as just a simple trespass. When I've been screaming civil rights abuse for years now, and him reducing this down, my concerns down to simple,
Well, the way I take it, in terms of Mr. Pingor's communication, is maybe slightly different from how you take it. It's not, of course, any case study defendant is important, no question about that. In terms of the issues aren't overly complex. In terms of that, I know I've been dealing with the case for as long as it's been going on, of course, Mr. Hicks. And I mean, I agree, there's no complex legal issues that I see, at the very least. So while it may not be simple to you in terms of the impact it has on you, of course, at least the legal issues are pretty refined, if nothing else. But that being said, how much time do you think you need to have hire an attorney?
I'm referring to how his unprofessionalism is going to misrepresent me.
I understand. How much time do you think you need to hire an attorney?
I would like, let's end this for about mid-January. If I'm not able to find in fact, I'll need you to have someone send me the case file so I can obtain.
He is your attorney until you either represent yourself or you hire someone else.
Oh, okay. Well then, mid-January.
I'm not gonna go out that long. I can't go out that long.
Okay.
I'll give you the end of December. I'll give you December. Well, I should ask Mr. Pingor if you're available. December 15th.
Sure, that'll be fine.
That's a month.
Your Honor, I'm starting a new job, which may actually put me out of, which I may need to, I don't know if the representation is based on my income or whether I can afford another attorney, but.
I think it's currently based upon your income, yes.
Okay, well, my new job may bump, my income alone may bump him out of the way.
Okay, well then the problem will be solved, but let's say December 15th will be your next court date. At least have a plan of attack, if nothing else. If
Yes.
you, or at least say, I'm about to hire this attorney or something, That way, give me something to work with on December 15th, okay?
There is one other issue.
Yes, sir.
I am concerned about why you don't think Mr. Pingor should communicate with me before we get to court.
Okay, well, as long as he communicates with you during the pendency of the case, I'm not allowed to micromanage the cases, all I am here to call the balls and strikes. Okay, so I can't say, Mr. Finger, call him on a Tuesday at 3 PM, that's
Oh, no,
not my purview, just to be
I'm
clear.
not referring to any specific time, I'm
I
just
get it.
referring to basic professionalism
Well,
that would have him
He
communicate.
just said that he's willing to talk, that he had time to talk to you this morning, and so, I mean,
But, Your Honor, I wanted him to be certain about whether or not I was trespassed at a public transportation station before we come to
let
court.
me ask you this, Mr. Finger, you have the opportunity to talk with him before December 15th?
Sure.
Okay, so either that's gonna happen, or you're gonna hire someone else, Mr. Hicks. I guess, those are the two, or you can represent yourself, those are the three options, okay?
If I represent myself, will I be getting the entire case file? If I have
Yeah,
to
you'll get
represent
everything, you
myself?
get copies of everything, yeah, of course.
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
Actually, and I'm referring to the entire case file.
Everything the state has given to the defense, you'll get.
Okay.
Now, that being said, I'm not gonna go through the whole inquiry right now, but, you'll be treated the same as any attorney, so you don't get any special favors. That goes for anyone representing themselves, not just you, Mr. Hicks, just to be clear.
God plays no favorites.
Fair enough. All right, so sit tight, we'll give you notice to sign for your next court date, and after that, you're good to go, okay, Mr. Hicks?
I understand.
Okay, have a good day. All right, anything else, this morning? Okay. Thank you as well. Yes. All right. Mr. Kane or Ms. Lopez, whoever's, all right.
I'll be waiting on your call.
Mr. McCray, good morning. Mr. Campbell present as well. All right, well, let's, set for trial on Thursday. What's the date?
Oh, do you need to sign this?
Okay. What's going on with this?